Good morning, friends, and happy Monday! Welcome back to another Independence Station. Remember, your job is to make sure that your microphone on Zoom is muted, you have your listening ears on, and you're participating along with us, okay? So the first thing we're going to start with this morning is a review of some sight words. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to read the sight word. I want you to say it out loud at home. Then I'm going to give you a sentence, and I want you to think of a sentence. At the end of this video, you're going to get a question on your book survey asking you to make a sentence with one of these. Last week, we had a lot of friends who just wrote down one of the words. I don't want just one of the words. I want you to use one of these words in a sentence. I did have a super rock star friend last week, actually, who used two of the words in one sentence. So maybe we can see if we can get every single friend to use at least one of these sight words in a sentence for their book survey, but maybe some friends can really challenge themselves and see if they can use at least two of these words in their sentence. Alright, so let's go over these words really quickly. Do you know this word? Good, this word is don't. Don't. So if I was going to use don't in a sentence, I would say, I don't want a piece of cake because my tummy hurts. Don't. Do you know this word? I hear some friends saying it. If you're a little bit stuck, I'm going to help you. OU sometimes makes the sound that you would make if an alligator bit you. So sometimes OU says, ow! Ow! Can you figure out what this word is? This word is found. Found. If I was going to use found in a sentence, I might say, I looked all over the place for my sneakers until I found them. Found. What's this sight word? Good. This word is goes. If I was going to use it in a sentence, I might say, Miss Morrow always goes hiking because it makes her feel happy. Goes. And the last sight word for this week, does anyone know this one? It actually has a chunk hidden inside of it. If I close up that M, there's a sight word hidden inside of this bigger sight word. Yep, this word is many. Many. So I might say I have many opportunities to become a better learner. Many. Good, so let's go through these words again. Ready? If you could say them with me, that'd be awesome. Don't, found, goes, many. Now let's do them from bottom to top. Many, goes, found, don't. And we're going to do it one more time out of order. Don't, goes, found, many. Good job, friends. Remember, at the end of this video, you're going to be asked in your book survey to pick one of these words and make a sentence using it, okay? A whole sentence, so not just the word. So I don't want you to just write don't. I want you to think of a sentence like I did. Like, I don't want a piece of cake because my tummy hurts. But I want to hear your sentences, okay? All right, cool beans. Now we're going to hop back into our story, The Chocolate Touch. We are starting to see some events in this story that definitely showcase that this book is fantasy. And fantasy is a fictional story that has at least one thing in it that could never happen in real life. So sometimes it's magic, sometimes it's things that don't exist like a unicorn, but a fantasy story has to have something in it that cannot happen in real life. And the last thing we read here was that everything John put in his mouth, like his orange juice, his toothpaste, his friend's coin that she was so proud of, turned to chocolate. And I'm trying to remember why that happened. Does anybody remember what happened when that started? What did he do the night before he woke up and everything started tasting like chocolate? I see some friends thinking. Let's see. Oh, I heard a friend say it. Yep. So John had gone to that candy store and gotten the big box of chocolates, but only had that one chocolate in it, remember? and he ate it, and he said it was the most chocolatey chocolate he had ever had. And when he woke up the next day, every single thing started tasting like chocolate, but not just like any chocolate. It tastes exactly like the chocolate from the box. So the last part that we left off on in our story was when John asked his teacher if he could go get some water. "Please, may I go get a drink of water? Please, Miss Plimsoll?" he asked in a small voice. "Very well, hurry back. We're going to start in a few minutes." John gratefully slipped out of the room and walked quickly down the quiet corridor to a water fountain. His tongue felt thick with chocolate. The cold water would be refreshing. He pressed his foot down on the fountain treadle, and a stream of clear, ice-cold water spurted up from the silver nozzle in the white enamel basin. He lowered his head until the jet of water reached his lips. The cold water splashed delightfully against the outside of his mouth. He opened his lips. As soon as the water gushed in, it turned into ice-cold chocolate water, thin and sweet. Quickly stopping the flow, John looked with dismay at the shallow puddle that had formed and was now draining away in the basin of the fountain. He hurried to another fountain on the second floor of the building, but there the same thing happened. The clear, ice-cold water turned to liquid chocolate in his mouth. When John finally got back to his classroom, all the other pupils were bent over their tables, busily scratching away. Miss Plimsoll looked up from her book as John tiptoed in. She looked at the clock on the wall, looked back at him, and wagged her finger reprovingly. John began on the first of the 4 problems, but he was so worried about the chocolate water that he couldn't keep his mind on his work. By the time he was ready to start the 4th problem, the other boys and girls were already putting down their pencils and straightening up and smiling at each other. 2 minutes ago. "Oh, 2 minutes to go," said Miss Plimsoll. Concentrating hard, John took the end of his pencil between his teeth and began to nibble it. It immediately turned to chocolate. Then he noticed an even more disturbing change. Although he had taken the pencil out of his mouth, as soon as the first piece of chocolate had crumbled off, the pencil was continuing to change into chocolate. The chocolate was slowly but steadily moving down the pencil, replacing the wood and lead inside, changing it into a chocolate pencil before John's very eyes. Ooh, I'm going to stop there for a second because that's definitely something new. If we remember, the only things that really turned to chocolate were the things that went inside of John's mouth. So just now, in this part of the story, he had taken his pencil and he had chewed on the end of it, which, you know, we probably could have expected that when he was chewing on it, that piece that went in his mouth would turn to chocolate, because that's what happened with everything else. But it seems his problem is getting worse, because he took it out, and instead of just that part of the pencil turning to chocolate, the entire pencil slowly started to turn to chocolate right before his eyes. The magic, for John now knew that his power must be magic, was apparently getting stronger. By the time the whole pencil had changed from red, yellow, and black to a dark brown, Miss Plimsoll was announcing that only a few seconds remained in which to write down the final answer. So I'm going to stop for a second, and I'm going to show you the picture that the illustrator included. Take a look at their faces. So we can see Miss Plimsoll's face right here. It looks like she's shushing them. And then if we zoom in a little bit to John, take a look at his face. He's looking very worried, and I see his hand is up. So Miss Plimsoll just gave that warning that they only have a few seconds. "Just a minute," John pleaded. "Shh," Miss Plimsoll cautioned him, holding a finger up to her mouth. "Shh," chorused the slow workers, who were becoming almost excited as John. But John felt worst of all. He felt sure that he could finish the problem and write down the correct answer, if only he had something to write with. "But Miss Plimsoll," he begged in a loud whisper, "my pencil's turned to chocolate." "Hush, John," Miss Plimsoll said. "I'll speak to you after the bell." John tried to write with his changed pencil, but the point was too soft, and he only succeeded in making a chocolate smear where he should have written 72. So we're going to stop there for today. You're going to have 2 questions on your exit ticket or on your book survey. The first question is going to ask you to write a sentence with one of these. So your job is going to pick one of these sight words. Don't found, goes, or money, and make a sentence with it. So please don't just write the word. I want you to choose one word and write a whole sentence, just like I did for each word. The second thing I'm going to ask is I want you to make a prediction about what John will say to Miss Plimsoll and how she'll react. So I want you to make a prediction or guess what's going to happen next in the story when John talks to Miss Plimsoll. Remember, the same thing with that, not just one word like cry or sad or upset. I want like a full sentence, like John will say what and Miss Plimsoll will what. So how will she react? So I want you to give me some oomph in your writing. Remember, give me that 3rd grade work. Okay, friends? All right, go ahead and start that book survey. So either click it in the link below or go to my schedule and click it there. See you soon.